So, round one's finally here. How's the team going ahead of Sunday?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, we trained at Optus yesterday, which was great. So obviously good vibe. Every club would be the same going into round one. Air of excitement. Get to see a couple of games over the weekend as well, which is great. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I suppose your team got another day to finalise it.
Yeah.
But what are you agonising over? Is it that midfield mix with a few key guys out?
Yeah, we've got to get that right. The selection's a bit later this year, I think. I think it's an extra day now. So tomorrow lunchtime is the final decision. So we'll get the captain's run done. We're pretty settled, but we just need to tick a couple more boxes and work out this sub and all those type of things. So yeah, we're pretty settled.
Coaches are clearing blokes throughout the week across the league. Can you give us a name? Langdon, Witherden, O'Neill? Give us any?
We'll play. O'Neill will play.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll play, and Kelly will play, and Josh Kennedy will play as well. So those guys all got through training. O'Neill's holding his spot, and obviously with Luke not being available, there's a position there. So, and then we'll work the rest out today.
Witherden, I suppose, high profile in terms of a recruit coming in, but it sounds like he's not guaranteed a spot in that 22. What does he need to work on? What is the decision?
Yeah, he's a new player, same with Zach, so they're still working our system. It's been a very short pre-season for them to try and adapt. And, Zach missed a critical game for him in his development as well, so we'll work through that. They're long-term prospects for us. They're both early 20s. So they might play, they might not. We're working through that today.
So Langdon definitely available.
Yeah, he's available. Passed everything. Did all the right protocols, and he's trained pretty much fully since Monday.
Is it an advantage, Adam, to be playing on Sunday, given the uncertainty around the rule changes and that's what impact the game?
I don't know. You watch every game, so it's good to have a look. Yeah, no doubt. So most years we play on around Sundays in the first round, so I'm not quite sure. I haven't thought too much about it, but it's great to watch footy, that's for sure. Yeah, it was an interesting game. I haven't really dissected it other than just watching on telly, so looked reasonably open, looked like there was fatigue in the game. Both subs were used, and Richmond's still a good side.
What did you make of the sub rule? Were you part of the conversation? Or some coaches were there, some weren't? How did you?
Yeah, I was in a dial-in conversation with the coaches, and when you dial, I didn't know if everyone was there or not, but it was mentioned at the end that we should look at it, and I agreed.
And the way it sort of turned from a concussion sub to an injury sub, you're not worried that people might manipulate it? Or?
I don't think so. It is a bit more work to prepare for and carry out, but done in the right way, I think it'll be a good thing.
You had 8 home and away games last year where you lost a bloke who didn't play the following week. It's on the bench the majority of the games. Is that an indication of how damaging the game can actually be on blokes?
I think on average there's one a game over the years. So I think we're just under one a game. One injury that we can't finish that game. Whether they play next week or not, I'm not quite sure. So I dare say most games there'll be a substitute used.
Was the Shuey game where you had to make the decision, we send him out, do we not send him out, and you bring in the other one? Is that an example of the pressure on the coach to make a decision that might not be in the greatest situation for the player because you're trying to win a game at your time, and now you don't do that?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. We wouldn't put out a player we thought was going to get re-injured. No, so in general, we try and make the right call. It's more when you just have one down on the bench. And then the pressure's on the player, puts his hand up, he really wants to get out there versus the doctors, all those conversations that happen every week. But I think it might make it a little bit easier to make decisions if you've got a fresh player available. We want our best players on the ground.
Have you made a call on the ruck? So is Vardy going to play alongside Nick, or is it Oscar Allen?
Yeah, I think we'll mix that up this year. Yeah, I think we need to look at both. We'll work through that today. But Bailey Williams coming back the next week or so. To be an option as well, and we will have a look at some games and see how it looks, halfway through the third quarter for sides. So, and it might determine who we play against as well.
That ankle with Bailey dunking a basketball is.
No, not quite. No, I think he stood on a football, with a basketball in his hand. So just an accident. just an accident.
With the ruck, last night's game, did you feel like either of the ruckmen had a real impact, and did you feel like the ruck position had an opportunity to have the same impact in the past? Is that going to come into your calculator? You watch all the other games to look for that ruck trend?
Yeah, a bit small sample size. One game. Look at the game's conditions, opposition, your style of play, state of the game. All those things will determine whether rucks come into the play or not. But last night, yeah, it was a small sample size, so we'll wait and see how we look with it all, and we've got options.
So last year, Gold Coast touched you up a bit.
I did.
What do you look for from them this week?
Pretty much the same. I think that the last 4 or 5 years, the way that Gold Coast have started, they've started as good as anyone in recent years. So we know that's true. We know what happened last year. We got touched up in the contest, work rate, pretty much every facet of the game we value. We got torched on, and it was in the second half as well. So yeah, big challenge for us, and I'm sure they're confident.
What type of player is best suited to being a medical substitute? What type of player do you think?
Probably what we looked at several years ago with the other sub. You've got to have someone with reasonable flexibility, or you've got to have flexible players in your side. So yeah, I don't suppose it's going to be a key position player. So yeah, one with flexibility, but you've probably got to look at your team and what's inside and where you can move players if you need to complement the sub. So it'll take a bit of time to work on it each week, and you probably don't want to have the same player doing it every week either. So, but who knows? It might be a good opportunity for a young player to get an opportunity to play.
Would you play maybe a debutant in that role, or do you feel like that's a bit?
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? If you debut as a sub and it goes down as an official game and you don't get to play, I'm not sure how that feels or works. So it's probably something you'd like to avoid. But if it's best player for the role, then we'd have to look at it. But it would feel a bit strange if we debut someone and they don't play.
Dom Sheed does a bit of work around he might be carrying injuries. So you think he'll play this week?
Yeah, he had a little knock to his knee last week, so he didn't do the intra-club. But he trained fully this week and he's available, right to go.
You see Dom and Andrew and Tim, those guys who've got another level to go to, with Ellie missing a skipper as well?
Yeah, we need to step up, no doubt. Yeah, and obviously and Duggan's playing in the midfield now, and Xavier O'Neill's a third-year player who's played 5 games, so been pretty happy with his development the last couple of years. I think he's in a good space, he's ready to go, but those mids need to step up, absolutely, yeah. Kelly and Shuey, they're like Dangerfield and Selwood for us, so they're pretty important players, it'll be hard to replace, but we think we've got enough depth to cover the void.